from the Luofu, the seat of divine foresight has only become more hostile. It's quite reassuring. Relax. You needn't be so cautious, young man. I'm just reminiscing about the old days. However, I never thought Jing Yuan would send you to accompany me. It would seem our fates are intertwined.
Huh? I've got my work cut out for me today. Well, if it isn't Dan Heng.
Greetings. I need to speak to the General about something.
Looking for compensation for the injuries I gave you? I accept full responsibility. They can deduct my next 100 years' salary if they like.
The Cloud Knights were doing their duty. I'm here to ask the General about the Stellaron Hunters.
You came at a bad time. The General is busy with urgent work. You probably won't be able to meet with him today. But he did leave a message. Dan Heng, do you recognize the person on the steps?
I can't say that I know her, but she does look a little familiar. Is she a guest of the General's?
You don't remember her? I see. I suppose the memories of your previous life really were wiped clean after the rebirth. That is Jing Liu, the previous sword champion of the Xianzhou Luofu. She was the closest friend of Imbibitor Lune, your previous incarnation. She was also the General's master. According to records of wars past, her blade has slain countless denizens of abundance. Not even the feather guards of the Wingweaver, the father wolf of the Borazon, or the gigantic mecha beast could withstand a single strike from her. She's a renowned legend. However, those are ancient stories. It's a shame that even a hero like her wasn't able to break free of Mara. It is said that in the end, Jing Liu lost her sanity and slaughtered anyone in sight. She was deemed a criminal and fled to outer worlds. With her powers, you'd think there would be no one capable of bringing her in. For some reason, she arrived on the Luofu with a suspect disguised as a traveling merchant and said she wanted to turn herself in. Her surrender came with one condition: that she be allowed a day of freedom before the trial. She wanted to travel to Scale Gorge Waterscape and meet with her old friends one last time. I can't believe Jing Yuan actually agreed. Before he left, he ordered us to accompany Jing Liu during her last day on the Luofu. We're hosting an honored guest. We're escorting a criminal.
Imbibitor Lune, you're here. Since you traveled all this way, why don't you come and talk with me? Or should I call you by your name in this lifetime, Dan Heng? When I left the Xianzhou, I heard they took away your scales and horns, forced you into a hatching rebirth, and detained you in the shackling prison. I thought Imbibitor Lune had been wiped from this world, but then I returned to the Luofu and watched as you parted the sea. After all these years, It was a magnificent sight to behold.
The life of Imbibitor Lunae ended. I stand before you, a completely different person.
I understand. The sins of a past life should be forgiven after rebirth. Now you are a nameless, traveling across the galaxy. But can anyone really bid farewell to their past? If my guess is correct, the Preceptors were unwilling to allow the Ichor line to end, and hoped for the Imbibitor Lunae's resurrection. That is why they tampered with the molting rebirth, and turned you into what you are now.
You're not here to reminisce on old times. Tell me why you're here.
You didn't hear? That Vidyadhara girl explained it clear as day. I returned to the Lawfu so I could surrender myself to the Alliance and atone for my sins. I did, however, have one request before the trial. I asked to be given a single day to go and see old friends, and to fulfill promises I made long ago. Jing Yuan has always been an understanding person. He heard that you would be coming and agreed to my request.
So, you're the one that mailed the letter to the Express.
That's right.
The sea's depths conceal no stone, and dragons' breaths reveal the moon. The scenery of Scale Gorge Waterscape is truly as magnificent as the poems describe. But as a suspect, shouldn't I be bound and interrogated in the shackling prison? Is it really appropriate to bring me to a place like this, General?
Holding you in the shackling prison would be more trouble than it's worth. For security purposes, we will be performing your trial here.
For security purposes? I suppose it's not my security you're talking about.
The Stellaron's descent, the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection, the Destruction Emanator's impersonation of the Amicassator. According to the Skyfaring Commission's investigations, you arrived on the Lawfu with a group of merchants, but didn't make a single trade during your stay. Your departure coincided with the day the calamities took place. You took advantage of the chaos to sneak into the shackling prison, but seemingly took no course of action. Now you claim that you are responsible for the Stellaron crisis and wish to surrender yourself. Your behavior truly is puzzling. I can't seem to piece together your motive.
I was asked to deliver a token in my capacity as a traveling merchant. I knew nothing of its significance. I admit I did have my own agenda for entering the shackling prison, but in the end, I found that the Lawfu did not possess what I was looking for. It is through fear of punishment that I am choosing to surrender. The galaxy is a vast place, but I am merely a wanderer. It would be silly of me to think that I could outrun the Alliance.
Merely a wanderer? You're too modest, Locha. Do I need to remind you of your actions at the Eternity Fortress and the Shroud Veil Star Zone? Or must I utter that tongue-twister of a name?
Well, they don't call you the Divine Foresight for nothing, General.
You flatter me. Fortunately, I did my research, or this conversation would have been quite dry.
Seeing that you sense something is amiss, are you looking to defend me and clear my name of suspicion?
That is beyond my control. Attempting to undermine the Alliance is a grave crime. According to protocol, you are to be held on the Xianzhou Shuling for a joint trial before the Ten Lords Commission and the 7 Arbiter Generals. However, at present, you have the opportunity to enjoy the beautiful scenery of Scale Gorge Waterscape. It will be the last view of the Law Fu you ever lay eyes on.
She told me that the High Cloud Quintet once gathered and feasted here hundreds of years ago. The unparalleled sword techniques of your master, the mesmerizing cloud hymn magic of Imbibitor Lunae Dan Feng, the artful piloting skills of Bai Heng, the divine weapons crafted by the Ju-Ming artisan Ying Xing, and the unmatched stratagem of the general. The 5 of you vanquished evil from the world, creating legendary tales in your wake. Unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, and the High Cloud Quintet disbanded as each of you went your separate ways. You removed me from the shackling prison and decided to interrogate me here. But not for security purposes. You wish to discuss things that shouldn't be overheard. You wish to discuss the one person you've avoided mentioning up to now. Your master, Jingliu.